hi, welcome to the Western Awareness Conference second panel, the producer suite. This is how you know you old school. Remember third grade? They gave you, it was all for a purpose. Normally I have a PowerPoint, but we don't have a PowerPoint, so guess what? We're gonna old school it. So, this way we're gonna, who gonna help? You gonna help? I can hold it up, or you can hold it up. So we'll go like this, right on top. So we have the producer suite. I've done these a couple of times. I am Professor KG. Not the teachers at Google. It comes with prizes. That's right. So I was about to say, I need to see it a little bit. So we have the producer suite. So my panel, I do these all around. I've had them a couple of different times. And the goal of the producer suite is literally it's a music education workshop. So unlike the artist panels and some of the other panels, I realized that there was a lack of just terms and basic information that needed to be provided, especially for music producers and music publishers, or the business side of it that's not just artist related. So that's kind of the point. We talk about music production and music business. And like I said before, we've had a couple of lectures and live demonstrations and panels. This one is called What's the Deal? The panel is about music publishing and music production deals. So that's literally the topic. And that's literally what we're going to talk about the entire time. So if you have a couple of questions and start thinking of some, hopefully they'll get answered for you. And so here we go. I have been working in the music industry for, I think it's my 15th year. I've interned at Sony. I was a national sales rep for music merchandisers. I worked at Fox Sports for a couple years, placed a lot of music. I was a contract administrator there. Went to grad school and kind of just dove back into it, independent. I wear the badge strong. And again, the whole point of it is literally about educating you all about terms and things that kind of just get overglossed on the business side of the deal. So, what's your name? Hi, Brandon. Thank you. Okay, so we turn it over. First off, let's get started. If you're here, hashtag away. Hashtag at the producer suite. I'm Professor KG. This is Knotch. This is Epik. This is Cabbin. This is Willie B. And that's Terence Le Maile. Most of you guys know him by Future. These are all artists. Terence Le Maile does publishing, A&R, and knows how to get people deals. I didn't say that.
Everybody gonna run the play.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Brandon, can I have you stand up here? Okay, tell Brandon thank you. So, most people don't know what music publishing is, which is kind of a simple thing, right? Everybody just talks about it, but nobody really knows that there's a definition. So, the point of music publishing is that it is about developing, protecting, and valuing a musical work. In order to get that established, you can do it by yourself, but most people get music publishers. We'll talk about that in a few. And it became more of a priority when the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976 came about and kind of laid the laws of the land for different intellectual properties and things that come out of your brain. Because a lot of times you forget that anything you make, anything you own, anything you make and create, you own it until you sell your rights away for some sort of, hopefully, monetary gain. Most of these agreements that we deal with for music publishers are private agreements. So there is no standard. There is no standard template that you'll find at all. So they can really do whatever they want to do, which is why you should probably know what's going on. So, music publishers, there used to be a lot. There aren't anymore. Basically, there's BMG and WIA, probably almost about the extent of it. I'm sure the panelists will add some more if they know. But they're more than a middleman. They actually own your stuff. These are the people you want to know and love and buy Christmas presents for and schmooze and invite them to stuff because they're the ones that are exploiting your work and making sure that you have money. So what I mean by exploiting your work, the musical work, is there's different ways for you to get your music out there. I know we always just think about getting it on iTunes or uploading it to Easy Street or Homegrown Radio, but there's just so many different avenues for you to get money. So the point of a music publisher is to license your music. That's via TV, film, video games, which is a new era that definitely a way if you can find a plug into one of these video games. I don't know if you know, but a lot of local acts are on the GTA. Some of the Futuristics, Problem, Glasses, Malone. So it's definitely an avenue that's expanding. So make sure that you don't get lost in the sauce. And they're not even always asking for main artists. Sometimes they're just looking for something that has a set theme. So music publishers usually know who to go to for that. They are also supposed to register your song, which is a prominent part of owning the song and being a producer or an artist. And that's with the Copyright Office, the actual for real way, like get your stuff copyrighted if you think it's gonna go further than your mixtape. And the PROs, which is a performer rights organization. And as a matter of fact, I want to give a quick little shout out to ASCAP for being the producer suite sponsor this time around for the Western Awareness Convention. So we want to make sure that they're registering your song with the Copyright Office and that they're registering your song with the appropriate, if not all of the PROs, depending on who you guys have on the split sheets. You want to make sure that they're promoting the heck out of your music. You want them to come up with different marketing tools. Again, these are the people you want to be friends with, because if they sign you up for a pub deal and they don't hear from you no more, then unless you're 50 Cent, I'm sure he doesn't have to call, or a lot of these other people don't have to call, but you want to kind of stay on them and be in their circle. They are also supposed to secure you new work. It's just a part of your job as well. So make sure that if you sign up with a music publisher or one of these people, that you were going with somebody that's not like, ABC Publishing and you've never heard of them. Because then how are they going to secure you more work and trust you with more work? How are they going to know how to promote you? So music publishing is prime if you're a producer. This is the best way for you to make money outside. Because you're not going to perform your record. So Willie B, rigor mortis comes on, Kendrick's getting a performance, he's getting a performance right. So we want to make sure that Willie is making sure that he's getting things licensed and that at least when it goes to their performer right, he can get it registered and he's getting paid back in, and that they're promoting the record all the way. So you want to get somebody that knows about this stuff. If you talk to a music publisher and they tell you none of this, just throw some questions out. Like, hey, so who do you guys have licensing deals with? And they look at you like, licensing deals? We just make marketing materials. Well, that's not going to do. You really need them to do all four of these things at the same time, simultaneously, like not one separate. Slide it on for me. So, there are a couple different kind of deals. The master buyout is probably what every label except the person who makes the music wants. The master buyout is they completely own the master. I don't know if you know, but the master is the final completed project or song is the finale. It's the one that they get at the end. Which means they're probably going to take your composer share, if not your publishing share, and then they'll give you a small royalty. They are going to buy out all of your rights. So they might tell you, hey, we have $500 for you to buy out this song. They're going to own the copyright, and they're going to own all of the performer rights, everything, and then they're just going to give you like a small little royalties when they sell it off of the suggested list retail price. So then there's a master licensing. First off, most labels do the master buyout. If they can do this all the time, they can do this all the time. Say no. Say hell no. So the master licensing is probably what a lot of TV stations do. At Fox, we used to do this all the time, where, name a popular song, We Love It, right? Or We Run LA. That was a good one for a while. It was on every single show. So they'll do a master license where you still own the rights, but they can get to exploit your music however they want to use it. Different licensing, they just pay you one chunk, and they just keep on using it and using it and using it and using it. There is no up to how many times, but they don't own it. So that part is good. Then there is a P&D deal, which is a pressing and distribution, Cash Money, Master P. A lot of these people did this. They own it still. So I can go and take my music with me wherever I go after the end of our deal. I like the press and the P&D deal myself. I don't know, a lot of the places that used to do it, I can never remember the name. They used to do a lot of the deals a couple of years ago. It's a smaller one. There it is. Tell them. So Koch used to do it a lot, and a lot of people were getting these big giant deals just for pressing and distribution. But you know, I haven't seen a P&D deal in a while, so I'm not sure how many of them. But yeah, I was about to say it's kind of hard to get that upfront money.
It's not, but it is. You gotta have the money first.
Well, you're supposed to have the music ready first. All right. Then there is the joint venture deal, which I think is probably what we are here with right now. So if you're a music producer or you're an artist, this is probably the deal you're working on and not know it. So a joint venture deal is where an artist will come and pay a producer a certain fee, whatever it is, it's usually just a couple $100. And they pay all of the costs. The producer usually has the studio, so it's kind of like a give and take relationship, but you gotta pay the producer for his time, is kind of what you're paying for. The goal of a JV deal is to get a recording deal. Where some of these other ones, you know, if it's a master buyout, you might already have a recording deal. If you have a master licensing deal, you might not even be interested in deal if you have like this, you know, one-off songs that are just so good. So that one is probably one, if you guys are really interested in being thorough about your business, go and investigate a little bit more about the joint venture deal so that you guys are making sure that you guys are covered at the end and you guys as an artist and a producer are going back and forth and it'll be beneficial versus, you know, somebody being mad at the end if you don't talk about these things before. The work for hire. In the joint venture deal, you guys also get to determine who owns what, because it's literally a conversation. So again, all these things are all private. It can be, there is no set form. They're just definitions, but the numbers and splits and all these things definitely are made in the studio. It's better to do it while you're there instead of waiting till the end. The work for hire deal is where I might call Knotch and say, hey Knotch, I want to commission you for, you know, a song that I'm doing. Can you write this song? So, did he say no? He don't mean that. The work for hire deal though, whoever commissions the work owns the song. So, you gonna do work for hires? Because you just not letting them own that song. Huh?
Don't have to like that.
So yeah, the work for hire is, so most times you know about a work for hire deal, or they should be. If you have an engineer in the studio, you should have him have a work for hire deal. If you have someone coming in that's playing the guitar on your record, have them do a work for hire deal. Or they're gonna say, we want 5% of your back end. Or they're gonna want some of your money because you didn't sign this work for hire deal, which is literally all these things can be found online or invest in a lawyer. The 360 deal, now that's the one I say stay away from. All the other ones are pretty much feasible deals, but I would definitely say the 360 deal is they just own some of all of it. So marketing, your studio time, your sales, you made some t-shirts, yeah, your touring, literally everything you can make money on, they're going to take a piece of it. No. Yeah, I don't even know where this deal came from, and this is actually a live
That
nation.
deal came from hell.
It's like a live nation.
The devil definitely made that deal.
Hey, put that mic down. The 360. You didn't get the rules. See, hold on, Epik. Let me give you the rules. Because my panelists have rules.
It says 3-6 at the beginning.
Hey.
Damn.
That's hilarious. So, but really, the 360 deal is where everyone is trying to get you to sign. So just, and now that you know that there are these different forms of deals, like be cognizant of knowing that somebody can't just come at you with a 360 deal when you can go, but hey, how about that P&D? And they're gonna look at you and say, excuse you? Like, you know, so make sure that you are going to these places and, you know, somebody's asking you to do something to, you know, be sure that you know what you're talking about, because otherwise they will get you. It's been done and it will happen and it'll continue to happen. then you have to go and sue somebody and all these fun time things, and it's not what you want. So, I'm almost done with my little fun time college spiel. However, some hashtags for folks and Twitter names. So the producer suite, I'm Professor KG. Hashtag, well, Itchy Von Don is down there. Willie B, Paul Cabbin. Everybody's name is kind of close to the same.
At Epik with PIK.
Just at Epik. Oh, you got it early. What, you been on Twitter since 03? No. It was like Epik. Dang. Does Sony know that? The only one that's kind of different is Future's name is Mr. Future. And you guys can find me if you have some questions afterwards if I don't talk to you at theovertagency@gmail.com. So, he really was the first Future, by the way. Thank you, Brandon. Come to me at the end. I have a prize. So, that's the basis of the deal.
So we gotta change the name.
And then, if we can get our panelists to pay attention. So now that we've talked about some of the different versions of deals, let's go down and talk for a couple of seconds about some of the people you worked with and what kind of deals you've actually had with these people in regards to music publishing and getting the product out there. So let's start with Paul Cabbin. So Paul does a lot of things online.
I'm gonna go first.
Hey, surprise. Don't hold that mic out there.
Oh, you don't like that, I forgot. Sorry, I apologize. What's going on, everybody? If you see me shaking, it's because I'm freezing. Number one is, my name is Paul Cabbin, and I'm a producer from the IE. I'm not an LA nigga, I'm an IE nigga, so pretty love. I produce for a few people here and there, but publishing, I do it independently. I do it independently on my Epik, to vouch for this too, because he does it too, but basically, it's just dealing with having a catalog online that people can search for you and they can find your music. And you'll be able to get deals through whether it be artists or a songwriter who want to just write, demos or for record labels, or if they want to, shop for themselves. Or you can do people who do videos on YouTube and come to the site and they be like, yo, you got some hot beats on there, and they'll be able to use it for background music, then we set up like a licensing, a little deal with them, how you do it. It's all done independently though. So I come from the but unlike for artists want to do it as they're independent by choice. I'm independent until further notice because I want to get to another level. So for right now, I'm just dealing with it independently and just licensing my music out to individuals personally. So.
Willie?
Hi, I'm Willie B. Produced a couple records for a couple, people that rap and rhyme.
Let's say some names. Like, we don't know who these people are. You know what I
J-Lo's
mean?
the boss from Carson.
This is silly.
Not real shit though. Kendrick
Give us some
Lamar,
names. Yeah, give us some names.
Kendrick, Absol, J.R., Schoolboy Q, Wallet, Pretty Mixes, but them niggas. So, as far as publishing is concerned, I just cut a publishing deal.
You?
Thanks to this guy. So be sure to do your demos. You'll get a deal through YouTube. But as far as that's concerned, as far as the TDE work, that's just relationship based. It wasn't really doing no publishing or anything like that. So that was kind of an organic situation. Just started making records when before the pop happened, before the Drake call happened and all that stuff. So in a nutshell, that work is from that. As far as the work that I get done with the publishing company that I'm with now, it's as artists, it's like pop acts, stuff like that. They're gonna be doing all kind of stuff that makes me kind of, challenges me a little bit, but the bread is there, so happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Good. Let's get Epik.
I work with Waka Flocka, ASAP, Nicole Scherzinger, Roosevelt, which is the most important one. But really, I don't have a publishing deal. I've had situations come my way, but I've decided to not do it because I make enough money to not need it. You know, I sell beats online to a lot of independent artists because I really want to feed the community, like the underground, to give them something quality, because a lot of them, they run to their little homie that make beats on Fruity Loops and he just started, which is nothing wrong with that. But I want to give them an option to be able to have something of industry quality so that they can, you know, compete, you know, because you can't compete. You got crap production, you got the snap beats like my man said right here, or, you know, some wannabe DJ Mustard beats, and it's not gonna happen. So yeah, that's how I roll. I just say that's how I roll out.
Real gangster.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Knotch.
There it is.
Hello.
That's right.
I worked with the New Boyz.
Yep.
Did that song "Tie Me Down" for Ray J.
Yep.
We won a Grammy.
No, I didn't. I got
Nominated
for a Grammy for
Nice.
Chris Brown's "Sweet Love" single last year. You know, the video with the girls floating out the bed and all of that. I wrote that song. I wrote Keyshia Cole's "Take Me Away." I did "Let's Have a Party" with E40 and Too Short. I'm singing on the hook. Another song with them, Firefighter. 2 songs on their last album. I just did a song with Stevie Wonder for my album, and he played the harmonica.
Bars.
I don't want to keep going because I can keep going. But
So you
I
have
got multiple features for my new album. But no publishing deal yet. I did do this. I learned the one-off game from Livio Harris, and a lot of people don't really know about that. The one-off is the publishing deal where you get a certain amount of money, and that company gets a small percentage, but they go out to collect your money, and you're still free to do what you want. So they just get a small percentage to, you know, it's like I don't know, you're just hiring them to go get your money for you for a certain amount of time, wherever it's at, and that's it. And once that time's up, you get all your stuff back and go do another deal with that. So that's what I did on Sweet Love. That's what I did on Tie Me Down. Other records didn't really pop like that yet, but those records I like to do. I don't like to do a whole lot of records with a lot of people. Like I was listening to what Nitty was saying, and it's not, you know, bouncing around doing all these records with a lot of people. It's making the best records and getting those out. That's how I like to do. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. That's Knotch.
Future.
Hello. My name is Terence Future Le Maile, or Future. I got my start actually in publishing at this company, Notting Hill, from like 2004 to 2009. I met Knotch there originally. Livio Harris is one of my original mentors. I just came from working with this company called Decibel Entertainment and Boardwalk Entertainment that had a few parts of the company. One of it was obviously a publishing company that had a label side and a management side, and you know, kind of worked between each of those factions of the company. And you know, knowing Willie for a while, I worked with some artists and developing artists, and you know, at the time he was looking for a situation, and I was in the right place, right time, and you know, Boardwalk was looking for somebody like Willie that needed this type of sound, and they're obviously more of a kind of I mean, it's more pop than urban, you know, than what Willie does, but you know, my thing and what I've been an advocate for is just great music. You know, obviously, you know, we're in an environment where it's urban, and you know, I come from that background, but you know, being a publisher is more than, you know, one genre, obviously. So, you know, you have to you kind of have to open up, you know, what it is that you do, and you know, be open to things that are different. If it's pop, you know, if it's urban, if it's dance, whatever, you know, you just have to be able to spot it and know, you know, what's tight and what works. So, you know, not being able to be a creative person, I wanted to make money, so that's why I got my beginning in publishing. You know what I'm saying? That's the backbone of this business. Regardless of what happens with digital, with sales changing and all that, like somebody has to account for the money, somebody has to know how you can get paid as a creative person, whether it's licensing, digital, anything like that. So that's what I wanted to be a part of early when I did my research coming into the music business. And, it's definitely helped carry me throughout the different areas. It falls into management, it falls into marketing, it falls into anything that's a strategy to do with your music. It's definitely the most important part, in my opinion.
So I wanted to get into, a lot of people, we hear about publishing deals, but what goes on after the song is out? Like, who helps you all with the collection of royalties? How do you know where to get the counts from? How do you know how the records are sold? Like, how do I know that my record sold 5 million and I'm supposed to get whatever this established? The basic industry standard is probably about 12 to 14% of royalties on the back end. So however that buyout is, be it a master buyout, a licensing buyout, the majority of the time you're going to get 12 to 14% of that, of the suggested list retail price, which is the SLRP. Before I even go on, if you are an artist, a producer, a manager, or have anything to do with music, there's one book that is like the Bible, which is Donald Passman's All You Need to Know About the Music Industry. If you haven't read this book, then you need not be an entertainer. It's like saying I'm a Christian and never open the Bible. I'm just saying, you skim through it.
It takes a long time to read like the Bible too.
It's not a long book at all. It's all of he has one in the back.
Correction, I read the Bible, not that other book.
The point is, anyone that is a real music executive, and if you want to know something, and you want to know about the SLRP, and you want to know about a P&D, all this, first off, the book is where they have it where you can fast track through it. You can read the book in 150 pages, or you can read every word of the book, and it's about 300 or 400 pages. It's worth the read. I literally was on a panel earlier this morning with the music lawyer. He too said it's the best thing. He wouldn't have even been an entertainment lawyer. Literally, he's from metal law. I wouldn't even know, about a lot of these things had it not been for the book. So the point is, get the Donald Passman book. I promise you it's like $25 worth it. He carries it around. It's literally, if you're serious about it, it's probably mine is from mine is real old, but invest in it. They have them online at half.com. They're like $5-6, or you can get a new one for like $25. It is completely worth it. So, sidebar, but how do we know about going and collecting that money later if you aren't signed to a major deal?
You looking at me? Well, first of all, you touched on that earlier. Your relationship with your performance rights organization should be number one. At least ask Cabbin, at least know who those people are, man. Like, it's small, but just knowing who they are, at least knowing who you're signed up with and how to register your songs. If you talk to somebody one time and just see the portal, just see how how your registrations are broke down, because that's important. Like, whether you have a deal or not have a deal, like, how you collect your money is based on the percentage of your songs. Like, a lot of people, okay, I'm a publisher, so a lot of artists, producers, you guys are in the studio, and the cool shit is not to be like, yo, let's talk about this business at the end of the session, right? But the cool shit is also not to get paid, 2 months later when that song is not out, or the cool shit is not to get paid. But those splits are everything, man. Like, registering them early, registering before the song come out, registering, you have a song with the artist and it's gonna go, and that artist is gonna take more of a percentage once it gets closer to really coming out. So if you have your shit in early, you have a publisher to fight for, you have an attorney to fight for you when, you write a song for Beyonce and you think you're golden now because you got that Beyonce cut. You've been writing songs forever, and like, you're on now. Beyonce's not giving you that song without taking her percentage of it. Believe it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're on a record with a producer who has, more name than you, they're probably going to take more of the record because Beyonce's taking some of the records. So, just being cognizant of, that small part of your percentages and knowing what it is when you're making songs, and knowing, your value as a producer, as a songwriter. Like, there's songwriters who think they should be paid. There's songwriters who think they should get more than 25% of the record if they didn't produce the record. You know what I'm saying? But it's just knowing that, and then you get statements once you're registered and all that. If you have a publisher, you're able to audit them. But your performance right organization, you have a portal that can show you everything you've gotten paid, anything you've made money on, anything that's been licensed, how much you made based on your percentage of it.
Paul, how, as selling, or Paul or Epik actually, seeing that you guys do a lot of things online, how do you guys go about it? Like, it's probably easier for, Willie to do it now that he has, a team of people that are interested in exploiting his music, making sure that every time they get paid, they want him to get paid so he can make better music. So how do you all go about it if you guys are your own staff?
Of course, it's a little different because we do it royalty free. So
I don't.
oh well, I'm sorry. I do it royalty free. Depends sometimes. Most of the time, I do it royalty free. So if somebody wants to use it, based on the contract or whatever whatever agreement we come to, X amount of, you get X amount of streams on Spotify or, whatever online radio, you use it for X amount of streams before you got to come back and get a license for the product or music. So that's how you so I don't have to go really police like that. It's on a smaller scale.
I've only had one real instance where I had to really follow. A lot of the independent artists don't get to the point to where I would have to go after them for that money. But I do have a contractual agreement that they agree to if they lease a beat or if they buy exclusives. And they have my ASCAP info. Most of them, I've noticed they don't even have an ASCAP. They're like, what's ASCAP? What's BMI? What's CSAC?
Yeah, let's talk about this again, the PRO thing, which is a performer rights organization. So they collect all of it. There's two different ways to collect money on the back end. So there's the performer rights organization that deals with all of the performing of it. So TV, film, things that aren't digital. Sound Exchange deals with all the things that are digital. So before the end of this weekend, you guys need to pick one. There's ASCAP, there's BMI. CSAC is private, so you can't even solicit them. Yeah, I like CSAC, but it's just I don't really mention them because they have to want you. But these are the people that, if a song is played on the Super Bowl, these people turn in a Q sheet from Fox. They turn in the Q sheet to ASCAP or BMI, cousin with this like crazy logarithm, minus plus cosine, the divided by to the square root. You never know how much money you can get. And then there's this, Sound Exchange. These are two places you need to pick a performer rights organization, and you need to register your songs all with Sound Exchange. These are just things that have to be done if you want to collect money. This is a part of your publishing. This is a part of you getting your product out. So don't do it, then you'll never get that YouTube check for $100. It's not like it's a whole bunch, but it's your money, and I want all nickels. I'm the penny. I will pick up a penny off the floor because I don't know when I'm going to need 403 for my fries at McDonald's. But the point is, you do need to make sure you're taking care of those things. Knotch, same question with some of the bigger songs. Oh, you weren't? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You didn't even let me finish.
Go ahead. Divvy it up.
All right. So my main thing I really want to get out there is if you're using the internet, if you're going to, you can make a lot of money. Period. As much money as some of these other producers, honestly. But a lot of artists are assholes.
There's no cussing on this channel.
A lot of artists are butt faces, so they they'll download. They find a little way to download your tracks, tags and all, record a song, and my song ended up being on this show on TNT. Some white lady, a cold case or something like that, and everybody, my Twitter was like flooded, crazy. Like I had like 200 tweets. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I turn on the TV and turn to TNT, and the show comes on again. It's a whole minute in the front of the TV show. Is a guy rapping to it. And he's like, he got killed in the show, but he like did a performance and then like murked him at the end. So it was like a whole minute of the song. And I'm like, and it has my tags, Epik beats, like through the whole thing. So I'm like, yo, what? Who does that? So,
Somebody that said they were Epik and walked into
right, but
TNT
what
and
they
said, "Hi, I made this
did,
record."
what's even colder that they did was like, okay, they said they own the rights to the record with the tags on it, sold the rights, the whole thing for 10 racks to Warner Brothers, and then for 10 racks. So I contact my manager Margaret, and she calls them, and they're like, yeah, we own the rights to it and everything. They never even heard of me, and we're like, nah. Why do you think it has tags all the way through? Well, we thought it was just part of it. Nah, what are you talking about? So we had to go through this whole, what's it called, cease and desist. And I told my lawyer told him that we were going to sue him for like $200,000.
Yes, you have a lawyer.
Right, yeah, you need a lawyer. So then they're like, oh no, okay, come to the office, we can talk about this, we can settle it. We only settled it for like $5,000 and $5,000 and 2 extra placements on top of that. So, I think that was pretty fair.
So you got plunked into TNT?
Hey, I got 2 more placements though. Right, 3 songs, right? And my whole minute on the front of the show saying Epik beats. So, it works. But all that to say that you wanna protect yourself at the same time. Get a lawyer, make sure you have management, somebody that can get to these people at TNT. If you can't get to them, if you know the 6 degrees of separation, you can find somebody. Somebody knows somebody. So, make sure you network. That's why we're here today. There's somebody in here that knows somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my experience.
Well, I kind of went through that same thing. T.I. show that he had, when he brought out Taylor Swift on the show, they was like doing a live performance. And one of my beats was playing, and I was like, what? How did that even happen? So I had no idea how it even happened, but it was another producer that I did the track with. So I reached out to him, and I'm like, yo, do you know that our track is on this T.I. show right now? And like, they played it right on that part, and it's like probably 30 seconds of it, and it's like, they don't even play the performance music, they just playing the track. So I called, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? This dude sold tracks. He didn't even know he put the track in there, but he sold like 30 tracks for like $100 and something. Damn. Yes, exactly. So I wanted the same thing, went around, lawyer, all of that, and it ended up being a settlement. And they and yes, now I'm sorry, not 3, but we're just in motion. It's going, it's not gonna stop. And I want to say something too. I'm a broker for a new media company called Black Pro Media, and they're looking for shows. They're looking for like a lot of stuff. If y'all anything TV, any of that, like I'm like on a hound right now, like trying to find shows and other ideas, like, or I won't have this job. So, if y'all got something like that, let me know. And then you had a question.
The question was, for these one-off deals that we were talking about with some of the some of the bigger names, is it easier to work with some of the bigger names when we're dealing with publishing, or is it, I know they're bringing in money, but do you have to go and chase them, or are they?
I don't chase nothing. That's why I do one-offs, because it just secures me along with my lawyer, along with my relationship I have with Livio. He always keep me up with the numbers. That's the thing, like you said, get in good with these publishers, because they can give you like numbers and stuff that these other people that you got deals with won't. They won't even, when you ask them about it, they still won't show you. So if you got a relationship with somebody, you can always go around, you know what I mean? When you meet somebody who has a lot of information, always tell people this. When you meet somebody who got a lot of information, lose the ego, man. It's a lot of people who ain't did nothing in the music industry, nothing at all, and they got the biggest ego. I don't have that. That's why I stay away from people. I can't deal with it. Anybody who know me know I don't deal with that ego stuff. Like I try to make it on some equal, whatever it is. But the ego thing is killing the game, man. Yeah. I was at a studio the other day, some dude, I don't even know his name. How about that? He outside, he come on the steps, he working in another room with somebody else, and he come out and like, I just want to tell y'all, the people around me, catch a vibe. Because when I'm around, you know, I'm standing next to Stevie right hand man. He's like, he sets up all Stevie's equipment and all, and he looking at me like, what the hell? And so I said, who are you? Well, really, this is my first day at the studio, but when I be with my homies, you get what I'm saying, right? It's like, dude got an ego, he's never even touched the stage, nothing like that. It just don't make sense. You know what I mean? It's better when we all work together and just keep it 100 and be honest. Cause that's why I respect him, because she asked him a question and he didn't try to play it like it was all big and none of that. He said it's on a lower scale, but everybody has to start from somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying? So the ego stuff it needs to die. It's not even, it's not 100. You know what I'm saying? You just keep it real.
I work with a few artists, man. Look at me.
Don't you just say
however many artists you work with, I still treat you equal. You're still a human being. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about what you did and what you haven't done. You're just being real. Yeah, you had ego come out of nowhere, brother. Put your wings down.
Okay, so in all, after hearing the guys speak and just listening, you know, and knowing about some of the terms of these, you know, the various deals, I think we can all take away that knowing who owns your publishing and all these rights to your song, you have to stay up on it. Nobody's chasing you to come bring you a check. You know why? Because if I'm ASCAP and somebody registered your song, but you didn't register with ASCAP, and I'm gonna keep the money and collect the interest off of it. So they're not going to chase you down. They don't care. They have no interest in appeasing you unless you register their song. Because they don't want, I mean, you know, I'll take the interest on your dollar as well, you know, so it's kind of like you have to be cognizant of it. You have to be aware of and read every line in that deal.
And take the contract to your lawyer.
Yeah, I was going to say, read every line.
There's some language on these contracts that don't even make sense. There's words on there that mean more than what they look like. Like for real. Phrases, words, all of that.
The new phrasing is all media. So if someone hands you a contract and it has the word all media in it,
equals robbery.
Unless they pay you accordingly.
Still, even if they pay you, it's still robbery.
So all media is
anything anyway. What they gonna make off?
Hey, I don't have nothing to do with that.
No matter what he said, it's like I have to rape.
You don't understand.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
For the producers on here. I asked Paul earlier, and I really want to ask this question because I think you crazy. I think I think it's important because I run into this with artists. I think people, if you run into an artist that is bigger, a Jay-Z, a Kanye, I think it'll be natural. But do you guys think that if you make a beat and you send it to Jado, right? Which Jado's a producer, he songwrites, he does everything, and he does the whole record, adds guitars, everything. Do you think that you deserve to get producer credit, or just credit for the beat?
You mean if I came
Like
in?
not full credit.
Anytime I do that with people, I break it right down the middle. I split that with a lot of homies that do music with. Like anybody who play a bass or sing or anything, if they sing a background note, whatever, I get in a percentage on records. People don't do that. You know what I mean? But I think it should be like that.
They'll just pay them off one time.
Yeah, they pay it one time and then that's it. Like she said, the work for hire type of situation. Is that what you gonna say? Yeah, work for hire is
if
not
it's
true.
somebody inside or it is,
You get a
but
little bit of money
you have to know the deal.
It's cool. It's cool for some things, like, but if it's your publishing, like, I don't mess with that. I don't mess with that.
But if you have an engineer, if you have an engineer in the room and he decided to add the boom cat,
to work for hire for the
then that's the one. That's what you have to. If you don't sign that, hey. If we don't sign that producer deal of some form, then the guy that added that boom cat in there thinks that he did it. He did it. It's mine. But it's your job if I'm a mixer because you're working for me. So the work for hire works out. You just have to be cognizant of what you're doing and those people in the room. And like he was saying, if somebody changes a word, they're gonna want a portion of of your credit. And they deserve it, because they changed the word and made the song what it is. So.
No, because I was a victim, that's why. I just wanted to share my story. So for all the producers out there, my first placement was with Bobby Brown. I'm Bobby Brown's latest album, Masterpiece. And what happened was, because I worked close with Ralph, and what happened was Ralph placed some joints with Bobby liked it, and ended up being on his last album. So this is what happened. Victim. Alright, so this is what happened. I had management at the time. And, you know, my management talked to his management, and then they came to the agreement, okay, we're gonna, you know, get this for this for this. Now Bobby had his man, my boy, he produced with him, you know what I'm saying, some guy named Blaze. He's like, yeah man, but the thing is, you know what I'm saying, I want my boy Blaze, he produced the track. So I'm like, my manager came with me like, they want to give us X amount of dollars up front, but Blaze produced the track. I'm like, nah, he didn't do that. So that's why Epik, that's what we were talking about, because they wanted to give him producer credit, but give me writer's credit. And that's how they wanted to keep my publishing. But you know what I'm saying, hard times. And I was like, it was my first placement, I was excited about Bobby Brown. I'm like, it's a cool placement. And so I took the deal, but if I go back in time, I would try to keep my publishing, because he still to this day off my publishing. I'm grinding every day. He just chilling. So keep it publishing, that's all I'm saying.
And then we're gonna wrap it up. Let's get 2 more comments, and then we're gonna do a little Q&A real quick. So let's start thinking of questions that you guys have.
On that same thing, I've been a victim too, but I didn't let it happen. I was working with I was working with nephews, producer. Nephew. I went in there, first day I'm in there, I was gonna do a deal with him, I was gonna sign under him. The first day I'm in there, Rick Ross took one of my beats, rapped on this, it's gonna be his new single, all over the internet, bang, bang, bang. It's called Pedal to the Floor. I sampled Jay-Z on the hook, all of that. Everybody was hitting it, like, it's going down. Damn, I'll be here today. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the next conversation I had with them in the sit down was, well, nephew produced it, but you're gonna get half your publishing. This conversation's over. I don't even know what y'all talking about. And I left. This is all going on at Babyface Studios. It's like, this don't even make sense. I said, I'm out of here, I'm not doing this. So I reached out to the people who actually linked me with that. And we went around, Shakir Stewart, rest in peace, cleared that whole deal up, introduced me to people and gave me 15 grand. And it was gonna be my record, but they ended up making it a mixtape record. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was good, it was bad at the same time, but it was worth it. Because I don't like losing, you know what I mean? I don't like losing or missing something like that. Like, I like to be the person, like even right now, because I own it, I can put it in movies, I can still do what I want to with it, you know what I mean? Ownership, that's the best thing. I own the record Sweet Love with Chris Brown. Like, a lot of people are not doing that. It's ownership in this game.
They don't know about the deals.
They don't know about
Just
that.
going around and not reading those contracts. So again, make sure you read every line of the contract. Chet, you had a question? You sure? Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for the panelists about music publishing and production? Stand up and say your name. Stand up and say your name. Yeah, welcome to it. Like 5 questions. Yeah. Well, the performer rights organizations don't really kind of equate into it much. I mean, they're supposed to help you, you know, in the long run getting placements, but that's not their job. Their job is to collect money for you. Their job is to take that cue sheet that came in from the show after somebody else licensed it. They're not doing the licensing for you. That's what the music publisher will do for you. Which would again be BMI. There aren't many music publishing companies left. I just recently went to go look for Bug Music, who was big, and now they're gone, and they just got bought out by BMI. I mean BMG. So it's 2 kind of separate questions you're asking, which is the performer rights organization.
Registering. Are you talking about licensing or registering your songs at ASCAP? you're saying you're an artist, you're an indie artist, and you have a song done, you get it registered, and then now what?
And now how does she exploit it?
She's like, how do I get paid?
Yeah. It's back to those two different things that after, if you decide to go with a publisher. Okay.
The answer is she does not get paid. You can't get paid if you ain't made money yet.
Right.
They only collect money from you.
Right.
Yeah, the performer rights organizations are the after end of it.
If you haven't actually went somewhere and made money for them to collect. You get it? So how does she get paid?
So how do you have to get your music, you have to get your music placed.
Show me how to get there.
It's so hard to register. So how do you get paid? So
Yeah, I mean.
What street did she turn on? That's what she asked me.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of like a loaded question because it's all, you kind of lump all of it into one, which is a good question, and this is what happens all the time, and this is why I kind of separated it, because performing rights, again, they're just collecting money. They're not working for you. They're just working, they want to collect your sheet so they can take 3% of your profit because they collected it. A music publisher, which is what we're referring to now, wants to sign you and get the copyright and be able to exploit your music on television to get that licensing deal, on the radio, on tour with somebody. So it's two different sides. So you can't, that's what you have to understand. It's two different sides of the deal, of that. So, and even still with performer rights organizations, you still have to sign up with Sound Exchange so you can get digital rights. So how to get it placed, that's a whole nother different panel.
Basically, that's your job.
Yeah.
It's like what you're doing right
Except
now.
if you're a music publisher.
Networking, you gotta just get out. You gotta meet people. You gotta grind.
You have to have a team around you.
Yeah, you gotta.
I mean, if you're an artist, a writer, you know, your manager, attorney, your publisher, if you have one, your team, like, I mean, you have to be, I mean, right now, artists definitely have to do a lot, you know, outside of having a team. And it's built for you to do that now. This digital game right now, I mean, the internet, like, I don't really look at a lot of artists that have excuses, and like, it's not, it doesn't really make sense to me. You know, it's too much access right now for people to not know what you're doing, at least a little bit. You know, but I mean, it definitely helps having a team with you. You know, your manager, your publisher, if you have one, will help you license. You know, if you're an artist, you know, it's branding, marketing, all kind of stuff that is going to help you make money. And I was going to chime in on what Jado said, just about having money first in a publisher. I know we were joking about, you know, the deals and having deals and stuff, and you know, I don't want to be that guy after this is over. But you know, seriously though, like you know, I think Epik touched on it. Like, if you don't need a deal, you know, I used to tell people that all the time when I was at Knotch Hill. Like, if you don't need a deal, chill out. Like, for real. Like, you know, you guys make music. You know, that's your meal ticket. You know, make music. Focus on what it is that you do that's great. And when it's time and you really need a deal, go ahead and get one. You know, what Knotch is doing with the one-offs. Like, you know, I've definitely known Knotch since, you know, I was at Knotch Hill. You know, he didn't have a deal then. It was the same type of situation then, but it was always building. It was always keeping the relationships tight, because you don't know who's going to be who. Anybody that's in this room right now could be somebody that I might need to be talking to next year, you know, about a job. I might be coming to
yourself.
You know what I'm
See what I'm saying?
Like,
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're starting and then look at you now. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? It's just been a long grind, like, you know.
So one thing I do.
The last thing I wanted to add is that no matter what business you're in, no matter if you're a producer, no matter if you're an artist, no matter what, it takes money to make money, period. If you're not putting money into yourself, if you're afraid if you're going to spend a stack on some shoes, if you're going to spend a stack on some Gucci or whatever the fuck whatever you're buying, then whatever you're buying, but you can't spend $1,000 to advertise yourself on a World Star, spend $1,000 to put your stuff on Hot New Hip Hop or wherever blog or whatever it is. That's how you need to market yourself. Because if people don't hear your music, you're not going to make money. Period. That's it.
Spend money on spreading out, not on views. That's what they was talking about earlier. Views, people paying on views. Everybody know when people views is fake.
Yeah.
Because the next day if you go to it, you listen to it, it ain't moving. I'll go there the next week, your views is still sitting at the same. Come on, man. No likes, no comments. Nothing. Like that, come on, it's so obvious. You got 1 million views and you got 1 comment, and that's your auntie. Like,
And stand up I know you're on the panel, but we have some new guests.
Oh no, I just had one thing. Spend $35. Library of Congress, Google it, register your song. Because you steal my songs, I'm gonna lawyer up on your ass.
And with that, you can send one, or you can send a whole lot of songs.
No, you can only send a whole lot of songs if it's the same writers on the song. You cannot send your project in and pay for it. So this is per record unless you have, as a producer, you have I think you might have like a producer and an artist back to that JV deal, and it's the two of you guys every time on the whole album you guys work on the project. That's covered by $35. If you add another person on there, it's a whole new record. I mean, as in a whole new file, yeah, of some sort. So you can, if you have a records with somebody and you guys it's just two of you all, then you can do it for $35. But otherwise, it can get pricey. What I wanted to remind people about the music industry though is unlike sports, if I'm a baseball player and I get signed on to the Dodgers, they give me my bat, they give me my ball, and they give it to you for free, right? So when it comes to music producers, well, I mean, I don't know Kobe buying their basketballs or practicing, you know what I mean? However, the music industry is different than that. So they'll give you the job and you'll get this production deal or this music publishing deal, and they'll go, here goes this advance for $100,000. It is an advance. It is not your money. As soon as you turn those songs in and that money comes back in, they are going to take that money before they pay you.
Forever.
So, well, no, until you, if you got a deal for $100,000, I mean, and you get it. Oh, they're going, they're exploiting your copyright. It's in exchange on they own it. So, however, just keep that in mind that they want all their stuff back. So if they give you some money, you best believe they're going to get all of their money back from any avenue.
And more.
From any avenue.
Way more.
Yeah.
So I just want you to hear that. Yeah, you hear that. I got in that hands of religion. You should be cognizant of it. Does anyone else have another question? None? See, that's how y'all know y'all ain't gonna go read that book. No, but really, to answer your question, you do?
Yeah, why do you figure you have to pay blogs?
Pay blogs.
Yeah, that's a good statement though. Well, it just depends on who you are. Like the whole.
I don't think
let me tell you something.
paying for
I
blogs.
run a national global blog and I don't charge, World Star price.
Well, we need to
First off, I don't want to divvy off the topic. So we're talking about.
Okay, well then I want to invest $1,000 into World Star because you're going to get promoted next to an old lady getting slapped on the butts.
No, I'm not saying that it's the best thing in the world to do. I was just giving examples because that's the platform that everybody's going for right now.
Yeah, they are.
But you want to sit yourself. You also will be sitting next to the man doing an uppercut on the bus. Yes. But then after that, you're also going to be sitting next to Jay-Z. You're also going to be sitting next to Gucci Mane. You also Kendrick Lamar and all these people. That's who you want to sit next to because when they listen to Kendrick Lamar. And they're like, oh, this is my shit. Then they listen to the next song, and they're like, oh, this is dope too. So you want to sit next to that, and not everybody has the same traffic. That's
Why want to sit next to
Okay, well, I don't mean to cut you off. I do appreciate it.
Well, the truth
Because I
is-
want to keep it about music publishing and not about selling blog and space and all these type things. I know, but we're wrapping up. Well, no, what I can tell you is if you get your site on the blog, nobody's paying you no money. Like you're not collecting no money off of getting your thing on your website. So
Just to try to reconnect the dots about publishing, radio and spins matter to publishers. We got off tangent with the paying for blogs and views and stuff, but your digital, it works if it's really working. You know what I'm saying? But it's for fans. Paying for views and all that stuff in terms of publishing will not help you. It won't help you with your sound exchange. It won't help you with your YouTube, click-through views. If you have a little subscription program, publishers care about tangible things. You know what I'm saying? Your spins, your real views, your real comments. That's what matters. So views and all that won't help you get any more money on an advance or anything from a publisher.
Indeed.
Any more questions about music publishing? Okay, so again, to recap, know your deals. A lot of the questions you asked would be in, all you need to know about the music business. I know I keep going back to it, but it really does answer a lot of the questions. And then the new one, actually, the new version does talk about the blog world. So not to say that it's not important, but when it comes to music publishing, your publishing has nothing to do with what's going on those internet. Like, it just really doesn't. So thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for, hi. I thought you were talking to A1 waving.
No.
Go ahead.
I want to know what's a good percentage for the publishing if you do it outside like BMI, like a personal person.
BMI is not a publisher. BMI
Well, not
is
BMI, not
a
performance rights, but you go to help.
You talking about what does the publisher take?
Register yourself as a publisher on
Mhm.
You saying what does a publisher take, percentage-wise?
Yeah.
Half, but it just depends. If you a sample,
Yeah, it depends on the
sample,
deal.
it depending on the person you sample, they might rate you for all your publishing, G. You know what I'm saying? And you just collect the royalties. Well, upfront check, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a homeboy who did a very, very big record, and that nigga got 0 publishing. And it was a huge record, and all of y'all heard it. Word, I'm telling you, all of you definitely heard it. But he got 0. Crazy.
Yeah, I liken it. Stevie Wonder does it for one of the Stevie Wonder songs for the Gangsta's Paradise. Stevie Wonder takes 70%.
Stevie Wonder didn't take no publishing. He just gave it to him.
But I'm just saying, he took 70%. So he took composer share and publishing. So
Yeah.
you guys want to do a little last 30-second comment? I know, answer his question, but then afterwards, let's go down, and he's our last question. So we're going to talk about just that.
Yeah, I sampled a record on Merce a few years ago. I sampled Charlene, Anthony Hamilton's song. Man, they took
Hard in the blender. I'm shaking and I'm stirred.
Yeah, they took all
That song is jamming.
Man, because he's singing all the way, it's not him singing all the way through the song, so, they just robbed me. They gave me a check and they said, thank you. Yeah, you don't want that.
All right, so final comments, and then let's wrap up and let the next panel come on up.
Comments on that?
No, just in general, yeah, what's your last tip on music publishing for artists and or producers?
Just make sure you network, get you management, get you a lawyer, ASCAP, BMI. Go get that done. If you don't have it done now, go and get that done. Like today when you go home, like don't go see no females, don't go see a boyfriend, don't go do none of that. Go straight home. Go to ASCAP.com.
ASCAP is $25 for a composer and $25 for as a publishing company. BMI is free.
Before you guys leave, all of you.
ASCAP is free. BMI, no, it's $25. We're about $25. BMI is free to register as a composer, and it's $250 for a publishing company. So
My tip would be just keep your publishing. If they try to buy you out upfront money, don't settle in, no matter what your situation is. Don't give in to your bills is due, or you just hold out and get that money in the end, get that publishing, because that's where that money is.
Keep you retired like that.
Left side.
I would definitely say, register. Because you just don't know who's playing your joints in the world. Because sometimes the international checks, they come in randomly, and they be safe houses. You be like, ooh, yeah, they like find $20 in your couch, dog. Like real talk. But like definitely, you got to register. Ask BMI, all the other things, and network, and that's what it be.
Get some of that TV and movie money. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I would just say just be smart about what you know you do. We talked about sampling and publishing. If you a sample heavy producer, just know that you might want to learn how to play for you. Learn how to. I'm so serious. You know what I'm saying? Like we can joke about it, but we talking about money. We talking about publishing, and it's nothing easier for a publisher to collect on than something that they already own. You know what I'm saying? So you guys that sample. Learn how to interpolate. If you want your money, we're talking about publishing right now, man, just be smart about what it is that you really want out of this business.
Or become friends with people who you can sample. because I did that, and I did not have to pay rigor mortis at all.
I'm available.
I saw all of that money.
I'm available to be seen smart. Backgrounds available. No, but I'm gonna say bye to thank y'all. It's good to come here and do this because it ain't a lot of this going on.
Yeah.
And
Keep supporting stuff
there's a lot
like
of
this.
fronting going on too
Definitely.
in the industry. So it's like it's good to be around real stuff and real people telling the truth.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for inviting me.
Absolutely. With that being said, thank you so much, Professor KG, the producers of the Producer Suite panel. This is, once again, the 4th Annual Western Awareness Conference. We're going to do DJ Research and play one more song. We got the business panel coming up next.